Hey everybody, we're out here on my front porch and just thought I'd debrief with you a little bit about the book project. I don't know if you remember, but in one of the posts I talked about the box to keep all your things in, which I have been. And so, hey, here's the reality of doing a children's book. The reality is all the paintings. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 paintings. Now I kept all of that in my box here so that I could keep my stuff together. Everything from the cover. Just take one of these pages in here. That was one of the ones that I'll be doing by Photoshop. And I talked to a lot of people that have a children's book idea that maybe they've told to one of their nieces or nephews. They've been encouraged by it. Illustrators. I guess the thing that I always want to say to them is when you sign on the line for a children's book, you sign on the line for a lot of work. So I've been going now for about 8 or 9 months and just today finished. But I hope there's some things that you can see through it. One would be that big projects are doable and you can do them well. If you have a plan, you shouldn't wait until a lot of time's gone by before you start. You should jump right in, make your plan, establish it, set it into steps that are bite-sized that you can do, and begin to work that plan. Work it over and over, day by day, week by week. Chart your progress so that you can know how much progress you're making with what time that you have left to meet your deadline. Try to meet your deadline before it's due. That really is a good professional practice, especially with editors that mainly work with people that are late. Don't be late. I think it's a great thing. Plus, it helps you feel like you're more on top of your project and what you're doing. This book was the 8th book in a series, so for me, I was painting and drawing characters that I had made back in 1998. So I have been with these characters for many, many years. I know them well. So it wasn't like just charting brand new territory for me. It was characters that I had thought about. I've made little clay models. I've looked at them from all positions. I've painted the same color clothes and things that they've had so many times. So it's very familiar to me. If I had not been painting characters that I had ever painted before, this process would have taken longer and I would have needed to work my schedule more different. So that was a blessing to be able to have characters that I knew. And then I think too, really being willing with your drawings and your artwork to change it when your editor feels that something needs to be changed because it would be better. This is just something that's part of being an illustrator, is none of these are masterpieces. They're work for somebody else. They're things that I like. They're things that I have done my best at, but they're not sacred. So if changes need to be made, we just make them. Acrylic is a good medium to do this with because you can just paint over the top of it. You can put layers. If you don't like a color, you can just change the color, put it on top of it. Watercolor, you would have a hard time doing that because it's transparent. And if you paint on top of it, you're probably not going to get the colors that are going to be vibrant and clear like you want. But acrylic you can, and as you saw in one of my posts where the house was not the right, it just didn't feel right to me, so I added on a room. Kind of fun to be able to just paint on a room because you want your house to be bigger. But those are the type of things that you can do when you're painting and being creative. So yeah, be willing to change as it needs to be. And in your planning stage, that's really important to get the very beginning as best as you can, and for it to have a good flow, just like if you're telling a story, a beginning, a middle, and an ending. It needs to run sequentially. It needs to feel smooth and good. There's parts of the story that climax. Those in your painting, you're thinking about either pulling in really close, more intimate view on one of your characters, or do you pan back because you need to show more information to get that part of the story across. Those are all things that at the beginning you want to be energized and you want to see it in your mind like a movie, and then it's almost like you're picking a certain frame in that movie that you see to describe each one of the spreads. That's the way that I look at it, so that I can feel a part of it. And then like a director, that I'm getting into the view and I'm deciding if I need to be up higher or if I need to be down low with my point of view. Do I need to be behind them, in front of them? Those are all things that you really need to work out at the beginning, so that when you carry your work through into the painting, that basically what you're working out is the vibrancy of the colors, the value, what's the lighting of the room, or the lighting of, if it's outside, is it nighttime, is it daytime? All those things you're really working and grappling with in the painting stage. But at the beginning, you're working with the design part. So that would be my, in this debrief, encouragement. And then last is, be sure and give yourself rewards. You're going to set a lot of little goals along the way, and those just help you to have something to shoot for. Try to involve your family and friends in what you're doing, because it's a long process. They can't be there with you. You're there day after day at the drawing board, a lot of alone time. So you want to be sure and draw your friends and family into what you're doing, so that you have something to show to them and they can rejoice with you, or they can help you through when you're feeling depressed or down about some part of it that didn't go like you wanted to. You need them to help you get back into it again. So I think that's about it. Happy to make this journey with you. Thanks for coming along, and hope that many of you will have your own book or whatever kind of work that you're doing, and that it will be a great experience for you. I see all these things as a blessing from God. I see Him as the source for me. He's the one that's opened doors for me to be able to do work like this. I want to glorify Him with it. And I think a lot of part of that is enjoying it. And I have greatly enjoyed this. So, in the project, I'll still have some Photoshop work to do with my paintings. I've already had most of the scans done for them. So I do have a little bit more work to do, but it's basically cleaning up paintings and pulling everything together so that all the colors are real crisp and will snap and look good in the book. But for now, out here on my front porch, I'm going to enjoy some quiet time, rejoice in this being done. Got a cookie here my wife made for my son's wedding that recently happened. So I think I'll eat something sugary and have a Diet Coke with it. And we'll toast this work being done. Thanks.